who's part of the team. I think you know Nishta, no?
Nishta, okay, okay.
Yeah. So just I was wanting her to join.
So requesting admin, if Nishta is in attendees, can you please promote her to a speaker?
Two notifications. See, welcome to IGF 2009. May 660. Google Maps.
George also has not joined yet, no?
He has just joined. He's just joined.
Okay.
Hello.
Nima, are we good or is there?
person you are
two
speaking
more
with
speakers have to
has
join
put
in.
your call on hold. Please stay on the line. आप जिस व्यक्ति से बात कर रहे हैं
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you please put on your video, Mr. Abraham?
Yeah, sure. I'll do that.
Thank you. Amrita, we are waiting for one more speaker. Otherwise, we are good.
Okay. Would you want to start and let me know the name? Once the person comes, I will add. Who is pending?
Garima Avatar is awaited.
Okay, I guess you may start because it's 2 minutes over the time. Once she's there, I will have her upgraded.
Garima and Mandy Gupta.
Okay, I will have them
Because Mandy had joined, she was having some problem with the video, I think.
Okay.
She's not there now.
If the audio works, we could start. I don't see her in the.
Okay, I'll just request Nirmita then. Dipender sir, you could start the session, I think, because the session starts at 11 o'clock. In the meantime, we'll check about the other panelists.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Great. So thank you so much, Nimaji, and thank you so much for this opportunity for hosting this wonderful panel here. We are having a very illustrious, very good, excellent personalities in the panel who are stalwarts in their own field. And this panel is actually about inclusion of persons with disabilities, or in a way, inclusion of everybody, including persons with disabilities, in the social media sector. And we have here Mr. George Ibrahim, Monica Desai, Mandy Vasudev, and we will have Garima Avtar. So two of them will be joining us soon in here. I'm Dipendra Manocha. I'm founder trustee Saksham, and I'm also director developing countries program for DAISY Consortium. And we have been involved in digital literacy and inclusion of persons with disabilities in the digital infrastructure and the digital time frame, or the digital space, so to say. Persons with disabilities have got a huge opportunity to be part of the whole social structure. For example, persons with blindness get capability to be able to have written communication with the rest of the world, because now with the help of assistive technology, with digital devices, etc., they can actually start reading and writing in the mainstream script, and that has a huge implication on their livelihood or educational prospects. And the social media plays a huge role in all this, and we are going to see that everything digital is not accessible also, so that the assistive technology and devices actually help us do a lot of things, but this opportunity could actually become a barrier if certain norms are not followed in the digital space. So I would like to now just ask, after this introduction of what the whole theme of this panel is, to request Nishtha, who's my colleague at Saksham, to just read out the brief introductions of the panelists here. Nishtha, are you there? I can't hear Nishtha here. So I think what we will do is I'll just give a brief introduction of our first panelist, Mr.
Nishta
John.
has joined, sir.
Sorry, Nishtha is here.
Yeah, Nishta is there.
Nishtha, I was just requesting you to please read out the introductions of our four panelists here, please. We can't hear you right now.
Nishta, we can't hear you. Nishta? I'll just call her and check. I'm sorry.
Right. So I think I'll just do a brief intro of George, and is a friend, so I can just possibly do justice to that without reading through what has been said formally. George has been a communication expert. He's a person with vision difficulties himself, but has been into, he is founder of the iWay, the SCORE Foundation, the organization, and the iWay is a huge project which deals with, providing information to persons with blindness per se. And he has also been very active in promoting sports. He was founder of the Cricket for the Blind in India. But awareness is where his main interest lies, creating awareness, communications about various issues, etc. That has been his main forte. And I would like to ask him to start by sharing his experiences of what social media, what is the role that social media plays in his ambitions, in his work, and in his pursuit of various goals and missions that he has, and if there are difficulties that he's facing in pursuing those goals on social media. Over to you, George.
Yeah, first question is, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I believe I just heard a message saying that my video is not on. I've been trying to put on my video. So the first point I'd like to put on the table is that this particular conference platform is not particularly blind friendly, because I've been struggling to figure this out. So having said that, uh, thank you for that introduction, Deependra. And so I've been in the communication space, and obviously social media has been an interest of mine. And I've been quite active on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and try to be active also on Instagram. Now, the first thing I'd like to say is that social media has opened a new avenue of engaging with the world. Uh, Ever since social media has come in, and one has had the opportunity of interacting with people uh, across the world and communicate with people you want to communicate. In the traditional way, you had the telephone, the mobile phone, the television, and the print media to communicate. Uh, in the latter two, it was one-way communication where the newspapers and the television spoke to you, and you had the opportunity of communicating only when you were invited onto TV, which most of us don't get that opportunity. But on social media, the first point which is exciting is the fact that you can speak to people in the world. There are ways in which you can track people and get to them. That is one. Secondly, it's a wonderful platform to make new friends, connect with people you like. I've been on a personal front, ever since social media has come up, I've been able to connect with my schoolmates whom I were with about 40, 45 years ago, uh, going down memory lane, nostalgia, similar with college groups. And then from a work point of view, I think I've been able to use social media for disseminating information about life with blindness, because that's the area of focus that I have. Also use stories from my work to sensitize people, because I believe that um, people with blindness get accepted into the world only when the sighted world is welcoming and inclusive in their approach. Just being empowered, I don't think I have covered the entire ground to be included. I think I need to be recognized and appreciated. Only then would I become part of a group, and when they know that I also do contribute. And so, social media has provided one with the opportunity of being included. Uh, there are a number of conversations you can have on various topics, ranging from politics to religion to sports to books to whatever. Whatever you fancy, I think you can find people interested, and you can have meaningful exchanges, very often leading to practical operations on the ground. You build up your relationship and start projects off the ground. So that's been another fantastic revelation and contribution of social media to blind people. The other thing which I would like to also point out is that it's a great platform to advocate. You can I've done a lot of these advocacy kind of thing on social media. You have the opportunity of directly connecting with people who actually can make a difference, using Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. You put your recently, for example, there was a sorry there was a recent challenge we had with WhatsApp, and I actually put it up on LinkedIn as well as on Facebook, and tagged the appropriate people. And there were people who were connected with Meta who actually responded and said, "We will escalate the issue to the relevant people." So I think uh, similarly, when there is inaccessible challenges of access with banking, mobile apps, and so on, we've had the opportunity through WhatsApp and Twitter to actually connect with the relevant people in the relevant bank to voice our challenges. And uh, so the critical thing is that we are able to connect accurately with people who matter when it comes to lobbying for change or raising a point of a challenge. The opportunity to connect has become much easier, and it's available to us. And it's a different issue whether the person who receives the message actually acts on it. That's nothing to do with the social media. But I think the connectivity has improved, and I think a lot of what we are doing on social media today is like, I grew up in the 60s and 70s, so all this is science fiction to me, growing up. So the changes have been changes have been phenomenal. And I think the way in which technology is advancing and the way that technology is being plugged into social media options, I think the exciting future is awaiting us. And I think social media has largely made up for an absence of social media on the ground in real life. So I'd like to kind of thank social media and the companies and the corporates who have actually brought social media to us. I'd like to thank them. Another very exciting piece of social media that I've been a part of in recent times has been Clubhouse. So that's even better, because all you need to do is to get into the room and you can speak with, there's a whole access to people, whether it's ordinary people who belong to, who have similar interest as you have, to celebrities in the space. You have the opportunity of interacting with a wide range of people. You have the opportunity of listening to people. You have the opportunity of voicing your own issues. So I think this space has revolutionized the way we people with disability live.
Thank you, George. I think that's brought out the huge potential. And yes, but of course, there are challenges, as we know that, uh, within this social media, sometimes the user interface certainly becomes challenging, as we were facing in the morning with this. But yes, some updates on the software front, the user interfaces sometimes break, some buttons are not labeled, some things are, that's the user interface part that has a potential of becoming not usable with our assistive technology, because we all use our own technologies to in various ways to access the social media. And like for persons with blindness like George and me, we use screen reading software to access it. And many times, if you don't label your buttons, etc., it will be, and the the text is not exposed to the third-party applications, things can really become inaccessible and unusable with the help of assistive technology. Similarly, users need to sort of give their messages uh, in a way which are readable, which are usable with assistive technology. In short, we have assistive technology, best of assistive technology in our hands, using which we are doing a lot of things. But a lot of these things will not be accessible. They are not being used in isolation. So the whole environment has to be accessible where we operate using our assistive technology. And one of the major companies which is creating such an environment, of course, is Meta, the Facebook. We have nobody knows introduction. It's a most widely used social media platform, and we are fortunate to have here none other than Monica Desai, who is the vice president and is in Meta. She's joined us from Washington. Quite late for her to join. Thank you so much for keeping up so late in night and joining this panel. And you're in taking care of all the accessibility issues, I guess, and all details related to relationships, etc. Maybe you can introduce yourself more.
May I
And
introduce?
So
Hi,
Nishta
sir.
is there.
Yeah, I'd like to introduce Ms. Monica Desai. Welcome to the panel.
yeah,
Ms. Monica Desai, as the Global Head of the Connectivity and Access Policy for Meta, will bring in the Meta perspective and latest accessibility policy news. At Meta, she covers policy for spectrum, infrastructure, accessibility, online messaging, online video, and net neutrality. Prior to joining Facebook, she spent over a decade in senior positions at the Federal Communications Commission. Welcome, ma'am.
thank you, Nishta. Thank you, here. Over to you, Monica. Please, if you can throw some light on few things on what Meta is doing to address these issues of inaccessibilities, or what accessibility initiatives are being taken in Meta.
Sure. Well, first, thank you so much for the kind introduction, and thank you very much for including us on this panel. We really appreciate it. It's been great to work for Meta, a company that's really constantly working to improve the accessibility of our products and diversity and inclusion in our workforce. And having spent 10 years at the FCC, it's been really nice to move into a company that focuses so much on accessibility. So I'm excited to discuss some of our newer accessibility features today. Our company mission is to give people the power to build community and to bring the world closer together. So access and inclusion is literally core to our mission. I was really glad to hear the personal experiences of George just now, of how social media has really opened up inclusion opportunities for them and how it has been empowering. We strive daily to build products and apps like Quest, Facebook, Messenger, WhatsApp, and Instagram that can be used by everyone. And this is a mission that we're on every single day. We're very aware that 1 in 7 people globally have a disability. So it's imperative that we build product experiences that are inclusive and accessible. We have a dedicated centralized accessibility team to support this goal. And what the team does is define, develop, and distribute accessibility training, best practices, tools, technologies, and metrics and user accessibility requirements to advance accessibility work throughout the company. At the same time, we treat accessibility as a horizontal function across the company. So what this means is that accessibility is embedded into the various departments that touch and contribute to the product lifecycle, including design, research, and engineering, as well as policy, which is the team I'm on, and legal, which results in an important cross-functional effort to promote accessibility in our products. And we have built a variety of tools to enhance access to our services. So I'll touch on a few of them. So first, I'll touch on captioning. Video overall makes up over half the time people spend on Facebook. Meta launched a tool several years ago to enable users to manually add captions for video and to customize the way those captions display to the user. We also enable Facebook Live streamers to manually add captions to their Facebook Live broadcast. But as we know, not everyone takes the time to manually add captions. And our goal is to have every video on Facebook to have captions. So we made large investments in and leveraged artificial intelligence technologies to enable automated captioning for video. And doing this has dramatically expanded the availability of auto-generated closed captioning on our services. A challenge that's associated with captions is that they're time-consuming and they can be costly, particularly for consumers and for small businesses. Automated captioning makes it simple and easy for creators to add captions. And we think it's one of the best ways to make captions available for video on Facebook. And this feature is really easy to use. Captions are generated with the press of a button, and then they can be reviewed by the content creator and edited so they have full control. Automated captioning is now available on Instagram feed, Facebook ads, pages and groups, live audio rooms, Facebook Live, Workplace Live to support the availability of captionings together with the manual captioning tools. A couple points about our automated captioning tools. For Facebook Live and Workplace Live, the speed, scale, and quality of this AI-powered technology was possible thanks to investments that we made in artificial intelligence automated speech recognition over the past few years. And on Workplace, Meta launched captions by default for general availability. So now all videos uploaded to Workplace will have closed captions automatically generated by default. And on Instagram feed, auto-generated captions also now are turned on by default for content creators when posting videos. So the impact of this has been huge in terms of availability of captions. And it was in response to requests from the deaf and hard of hearing community that we made this the default behavior. And I'm pleased to share that we are auto-generating captions for more than 3 million videos every day on Facebook and more than 4 million videos every day on Instagram. On Instagram, auto-generated captions are supported in 17 languages, including in Hindi. I'll also talk a little bit about improving the accessibility of photos through automatic alt text. This improves access of photos at scale on our platform to assist people with vision loss to better experience this media. We've deployed AI-driven photo description technology that describes objects in photos to people with vision loss. This is called automatic alt text, or AAT. This technology uses object recognition to generate a description of photos to enable people using screen readers to hear a list of items that a photo may contain. So to provide some context on the challenges that this particular tool solves, every day our users share billions of photos. Through research and engagement with the vision loss community, we learned that screen reader users not only want to engage with and share photos, but they want more information about the photo's content and the context. The standard practice for describing photos to people who use screen readers is the use of alt text, which is a concise text-based description that's used by screen readers to describe an image. Unfortunately, adding alt text manually and individually takes time and a little skill, and the vast majority of photos that are posted by individuals who don't know how to use alt text or why it's needed. So Meta created automatic alt text to help address this particular challenge. The original version of the automatic alt text launched in 2016. I could recognize 100 common concepts like tree, mountain, outdoors. Last year, we announced the next generation of automatic alt text, which is now able to recognize over 1,200 objects and concepts, more than 10 times as many as before, including highly requested concepts like landmarks, more types of sports, breeds of dogs, and various types of food. We accomplished this by training automatic alt text, the model, on billions of public Instagram images and their hashtags. We heard from people who enjoy automatic alt text that they also want more detail than a simple summary statement for images that they care about the most. So on the Facebook app for iOS, we developed additional functionality so that we can now provide a deeper, more detailed image description on demand and we've achieved an industry first by making it possible to provide a count of recognized objects, positional information, and a comparison of the relative prominence of objects in an image. So this technology has won a number of awards, including the Helen Keller Award, as well as the FCC Chairman's Award for advances in accessibility. These descriptions are available in 45 different languages, including Hindi, Bengali, Gujarati, Kannada, Malayalam, Marathi, Punjabi, Tamil, and Telugu. So more than 80% of images displayed on Facebook and Instagram contain automatic alt text. I'll also touch a little bit on Meta's other recent accessibility progress. You may be aware that Meta produces the Meta Quest, which is formerly known as the Oculus line of products, virtual reality products. We believe that virtual reality is the future of computing, and we are investing in building that future for everyone. For example, we introduced an accessibility tab into the settings menu. And in that tab, you'll find tools and features that enable you to customize your VR experience, such as the ability to change the headset's default size text and also control audio in different ways. We've also added a color correction feature, which is a system level display that increases legibility of colors that are commonly difficult to differentiate. Another much requested feature enables you to experience VR from a standing vantage point, even while physically seated. And we found that people with mobility disabilities particularly appreciate that feature. We have new audio features that let you customize the audio and volume between the left and right speakers to make the headsets more customizable. And one of the biggest challenges we face involves building accessibility into the metaverse. And there's a lot at stake in making sure the possibilities are open to everyone. We are making sure to be inclusive by design, and with new technologies come new products and social experiences. For Meta, XR, extended reality, is a new and emerging technology, and accessibility in AR, VR is likewise an evolving area. So we're actively working to understand how best to provide those inclusive experiences through working with different disability organizations, industry organizations like the XR Association and XR Access. We developed some of the first accessibility virtual reality checks for Quest developers, and we're working with organizations to research, document, and distribute public XR accessibility guidelines for developers. Our work for developers offers a set of industry-backed best practices for developing accessible software to enhance the ability for everyone. And so I'll end there, and if there's time later, I can talk about some of the workforce inclusion and training that we do, if that's of interest. But I'll send it back over to you, and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Monica. There's so much happening, and I'm so happy that the most cutting edge technology is being deployed to address this whole issue of accessibility and usability of all these platforms by everybody, including persons with disabilities. By deploying all these technologies, plus all the facilities that a company like Meta provides for users to make their content more accessible and perceivable by all. Unfortunately, there is a big issue of awareness that very few people actually know about all these facilities. Very few people know that just by spending few seconds more when they post their photographs or things on the social media, they can actually make a huge difference in enabling persons with disabilities and helping them, operate in their work environment, in their personal, social environment, etc. And to create further awareness about it, to take this message to a lot of users. Now I would like to bring in Saksham here, who is in collaboration with Meta, is actually bringing up a new campaign to create awareness amongst the masses so that the content is actually the social media space, so to say, is more friendly to all persons with blindness, low vision. So I would like to invite Nishta first to introduce Mandy Gupta Vasudev from Saksham, who will describe, maybe I'll just pose the question later on. So Nishta, if you could just introduce
Yes,
our panelists. Yeah.
Ms. Mandy Gupta Vasudev has worked as a peace consultant in Kenya for several years with German GIZ, which is a German civil peace society. Later, she became a social entrepreneur and launched an advocacy program and successful campaign in East Africa to create awareness on human rights and modern-day slavery. Mandy now works with Saksham on making content accessible for the visually impaired, and will be sharing Saksham's new campaign and the curriculum and capacity building initiatives being undertaken under the project. Welcome, Mandy.
Thank you so much, Nishta, for doing this. And so, Mandy, as Nishta was saying just in your introduction, that you are embarking on this campaign to call the leveraging social media for accessibility and encouraging people to make their content accessible. Could you actually throw more light on what this campaign is all about and what are you actually planning to do in this?
Yes, of course. Thank you for introducing me here. Happy to be a part of this discussion. Well, we at Saksham have already launched the campaign on the World Disability Day on the content accessibility for all. The campaign is called Leveraging Social Media Accessibility for All. And this has been very well covered by Hindustan Times, which is one of the largest daily national here. They've covered it in the Delhi edition. They have carried our story in the editorial, announced it on the social media platform, and also given us a radio coverage. So yes, we are good to begin with. We've also got support from UAE. There is a advertising communication agency which has shown interest to partner with us. They've already done some work with us. There is Amity College there, which is also showing interest in partnership. there is Idea Tree there. So we've been well received as of now. Well, to carry this message forward, we of course have rolled out a certain plan, and that is a combination of outreach strategies through influencers, through events, being part of different platforms at the at literature fests, at different events, college events. So it's a mix of things that we are rolling out. But to explain the whole strategy of how we are moving with this is primarily trying to get two aspects of society together. One is the community of people who are still out of social media, the people with disabilities who can bring in much bigger universe for us if we bring them in. And the other is the community of the stakeholders who are people in the mainstream who are using social media but still not aware that it can be made accessible for all. So while we empower the other community, the people with persons with disabilities to come in to use social media and teach them the simple ways of being using the Meta curriculum and joining in, we also have to help to create an environment which is friendly to get them on. So that is why we need to sensitize this community of stakeholders, which comprises of almost everyone, because everyone is using social media, everyone is a content developer, everyone is a participant. So yes, it's a huge program. We need to sensitize this group of people to understand the importance of creating accessibility of social media for all. And that Meta has already worked, has already got a platform ready. We just need to operate that. We just need to be aware, conscious, and want to do that. Because it's a human right at the end of the day, communication. And if it is my right, it is everybody's right. And while I exercise my right, I have the duty to let other people exercise the same right. So we need to build this community together. And so we are looking at, based on Meta's curriculum, we are looking at developing a lot of multimedia content. One of them is, of course, what we are working on is creating videos, tutorials, probably 4 or 5 of them in 3 different languages, which we will use to for our training programs with universities, colleges, corporate houses, or whoever we choose to partner with. This could be used as a tutorial, and we can also distribute them through one of the libraries which we're thinking of partnering with is Delnet, because it has a network of libraries that promote resource sharing. Of course, these are all in the pipeline. We've not finalized any of these partnerships yet, but this is the way we are trying to move forward with this campaign.
Thank you so much, Melly. I think this is very exciting time forward. I think it looks like a very, very exciting piece of project that we are embarking on. And so now let me introduce another very illustrious panelist that we have here, Garima Avtar. And Nishta, could you first introduce Garima?
Yes. Ms. Garima Avtar is among the top women rally racing drivers in India and the first female professional driver for Mercedes-Benz Lux Drive, a social media influencer and gold winner at ET Brand Equity Influencer Marketing Awards 2022. She has 450,000 plus followers on Instagram and Facebook. She's also a TEDx speaker. She has motivated audiences on forums such as FICCI Global Young Leaders Forum, Dell India Leadership Series, and has won many awards for her work, including the Asian Achievement Award for Outstanding Work in Extreme Rallying. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having me here as a panelist. I've been associated with Saksham, since a very, very long time. I remember I have I've been there. I have, as a music teacher, and I have, recorded books for Saksham. So I have a very close association, a very emotional attachment somehow to Saksham. I've been associated for a long time. Today, yeah, the topic is extremely important, considering the fact that, internet has been around for more than a decade, and it has gained billions of users, but the consumption and accessibility of internet is different for different users, and not every user has an equal participation in it. And, you know, that is where the especially able people come into the focus, be it fully visually impaired people, partially impaired, or colorblind people, or people with different visual disabilities. The usage of internet proves to be a bit of difficulty for them, and many countries have imposed several laws to ensure equality among the users of internet and social media. So definitely there are certain best practices that could be carried out to ensure that the content on internet is accessible to all. As Monica ma'am mentioned, Meta has been, doing such, has created such amazing tools, I mean, for automating, the content and making it more accessible to all kinds of users. And, but frankly, as a full-time content creator, I myself, initially, I mean, before when Saksham, when I came to know about this campaign and about this, I wasn't even myself aware. I couldn't even think, about the challenges that the specially abled people may have been facing who use screen readers, to access content on social media. And I'm sure, and most of the creators out there would be, unaware. Two of the best practices to make the social media content, accessible to all. And I'm also sure that, everybody would empathize and would like to incorporate, the necessary best practices. So I think it all boils down to basically spreading the awareness and implementing it. And definitely they say, the implementation must start. So I have started implementing it already. I mean, I had a word with Dipenderji about it. And then we want to create an inclusive workspace and, school environment, that, but definitely it will take some awareness and planning. So what does accessible content mean, and why is it important for communication in all the sectors throughout? The web content accessibility guidelines, they are a set of principles which are intended for content and web creators to ensure that all people, including the specially able, can view, interact, and share information. And there are tools to help one create accessible content, and they're easy to use. It's about, as Dipenderji had said, that content creators, they just need to take out a little time out, and keep in mind that if they can just take a few minutes out and use those simple tools, and that's little 1 or 2 extra steps of adding alt text or things which are required to make the content more accessible. So it will make it so much more easier for everyone to consume and understand the content. And definitely it is not a cumbersome process. So here are 5 simple things that I have started doing to make my content more accessible for screen readers. The first one is, writing meaningful alternatives for images that, provide information or function of the image. And there is a lot of content in the form of GIFs and memes on social media, and not all can be understood simply. So it is very necessary to, transcribe them properly, so that, while the screen reader reads out the content, it is easily understood too. So, and as Monica ma'am mentioned, that Meta has these tools that can automatically, add all text and all to images. And I think I'm going to definitely try it out. I'm going to check out all the functions and about that. The second one is, I have, started putting subtitles in my YouTube videos. I was putting it, but I'm going to make absolutely a conscious effort to put subtitles in the YouTube videos. I have I do podcasts videos also. So definitely providing transcript subtitles to the viewers and publishing videos will definitely help even the international audience. And I'm also creating these videos in both Hindi as well as English language to cater to the regional viewers as well. So yeah, that is one aspect. The third one is, writing link text so that it describes the content of the link target. So on my website, so instead of writing link texts as click here or read more, so which are definitely not good in terms of accessibility, and I think the important thing is to clearly describe what the URL is about, because in modern times where half of the world is on internet and almost everything gets done in a few clicks, it is very necessary to describe where the link leads to. So and the fourth aspect is structuring the content well, adding shorter paragraphs, headings, bullet lists, that will allow users to quickly focus their attention on the key points. And the screen readers will also easily navigate through the content, move from section to section, etc. And like all other accessibility guidelines, good content structuring definitely raises usability for our average customer as well. So because everyone then appreciates and quickly grasps the well-structured content. So I try to keep the language of my content clear and simple and easy to understand. The written content published on my social media handles is broken down into smaller chunks of paragraphs, headings, and bullet points. The fifth one is hashtags, which are very, very important part of social media usage. As a result, when optimizing our posts for accessibility, definitely one shouldn't overlook it. So by using camel case, to ensure that the hashtags are clearly communicated, capitalizing each word in our hashtags helps screen readers understand what they are saying. So we could make certain. So I was thinking. So this is these are the steps that 5 simple steps that to start with. I think it's simple. It's not at all cumbersome to just take out a few minutes and do this extra bit to make the content more accessible. And I was discussing with Dipender ji about it, that definitely my next this thing will be I'm going to create instruction videos on various aspects of the best practices to be followed, like small videos which I can then promote on my social media, on my various platforms, Twitter, Meta, Facebook, Instagram, and even LinkedIn, and where simple steps about how to make how to add alt text, and even what are the various tools available by Meta, how to kind of incorporate all that. So I will definitely do the necessary promotion required in my capacity to spread the necessary awareness. And in fact, I have a podcast which is on based on sports psychology, where I interview a lot of athletes. So there have been many differently abled people who have made their name throughout the history. There are differently abled athletes, mountain climbers, painters, and singers, etc. And these are all such great examples of the people that we look up to and we get inspired by them. So as they have told the world that even if they're specially abled, they're still capable of everything. So the aim is to evolve into a society that is empathetic and compassionate towards the needs of specially abled people. And I will definitely do everything in my capacity, and work on the campaigns, whatever Dipender ji, and we'll work out to spread the awareness which is required to make the content more accessible.
Thank you so much, Garima. It means a lot for persons like you, and to support our campaign and to appeal to people to join and to follow your footsteps, and because that will make a huge difference in achieving what we are setting out to achieve. We are now obviously, I mean, we are actually now running out of time completely. We are, I think, consumed that whole time that we had for the panel. Are there any questions that we can take? Just one or two questions, if there are. I don't know. Nimaji, are you there? Is there a so I think about we will sorry.
So Miss Nima is not there. I'm checking the chat, but currently we don't have any questions. But in case something comes up, I'm just going to let the
So
panelists know.
in that case, I think what we'll do is I'll just ask maybe each of the panelists to very shortly, just in a minute or so, just say what is your message for any steps in this direction for future. Any message from each one of you, or any last thing that you would want to end this panel with. So first, George, coming back to you. George, are you there? While he connects, could we ask Monica? Monica is
Hello, Dipendra sir.
yes.
I'm sorry to intervene. Actually, I got logged out. We are overrunning the time, sir. It was a 50-minute workshop, so please, if you can.
So I'm just asking for the panelists to just give a last minute thing. Should we have that time, or is this are you?
Very quickly, if it can be done, sir.
Yeah, I think we'll just running in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I think maximum we should be able
Thank
to.
you, sir.
Thank you, Nima. So yes, Monica, if you're there, can we
Sure,
just?
yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you know what, we at Meta are really excited about the future and the potential that the metaverse has for everyone, including people with disabilities, and we'll keep working hard to advance disability awareness and working with people like everyone on this panel to help create awareness and create the opportunity to learn more about how all individuals can make their content more accessible. So thank you for this opportunity. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for joining, Monica, for that. And Mandy, any message from Saksham for?
Yes, very much. We want this to become a movement, just not a campaign. It has to be a movement where everybody realizes it is a movement for the betterment of society, to create one world, one universe of common communication ground. So unless this is where we reach, we will not be successful with this campaign. And this can happen as we go ahead and bring in people from different age groups, different communities, to pledge to be a part of this and carry the message forward. And we are going to create forums to bring in people to pledge, not only on our websites, but through t-shirts, through events, through Instas. So let's all join this and walk the talk together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mandy. Garima, your message before we leave this panel. You're not audible. Are you on mute? Yeah, please.
Yeah, I would like to say that definitely I totally agree with Mandy. We must try we must try and make it a movement, and do create a better world for all of us, like one world, one universe, and equal one for all of us, and take steps in every direction to make the content. Social media is such an amazing platform for communication, and we have learned so much from it. There's so much it has given, but it has I will do everything in my capacity to kind of create awareness, so that social media content becomes accessible to each and every one of us.
Thank you so much. Is George there? Do we have his voice now?
Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, George. Good.
Yeah. Okay.
Message, please.
Yeah, a couple of very quick points. Number one, a request that I think if the social media platforms can also have a tutorial button, because a lot of us do not know a lot of what is available in terms of resources on the social media, in terms of how to use it. So maybe a tutorial can be, if it is accessible on the Facebook or using all these channels, if that's one. Number two is, as IWay, I was wondering, Dipender, if there is any way we can contribute to the campaign. So I would be open to being part of that. Yeah.
So each one of us actually has a role to play in making it, and what better than the platforms like iWay promoting this campaign and making it available to as many people as possible.
Dear panelists,
So thank you so much. I think we'll end the panel here. Thank you.
Thank you very much for
Thank
giving
you.
this
Thank you.
opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Much,